we did the most exciting thing. We did a walk in Nairobi CBD for GMOs, for science, for food security. We have had farmers on board, we've had students on board, we've had media, we've had stakeholders, people who want to know more about GMOs on board, and it was good, creating awareness, sensitizing people, seeing the looks on people when we are walking around and we have all these placards and messages, and showing them the confidence that we have in our government, in our president, on the decision to lift the ban on GMOs.
The reason we are here today is because we want to talk about something that everybody is talking about without necessarily looking at the facts. We want to address ourselves to GMO. Now, as a country, we are getting to a point where it's becoming increasingly difficult to feed ourselves. To put it in perspective, in 2021, we had 2.1 million people facing starvation. A year later, that is 2022, between August and December, we had 4.4 million people unable to feed themselves. That is an 84% increment. And when you look at the trajectory, it has been getting worse every day. If we do not change the way we are doing things, if we continue doing things the same way we have been doing, we can be sure that this year we'll have a higher number of Kenyans facing starvation. That's why today, as REPLANET Africa, we are happy that we've brought together people who represent a solution to this country. We've brought together a community of scientists. We've brought together farmers who are using the science of farming, who are using biotechnology to be able to address the issues that affect farmers, from poor harvests to use of a lot of pesticides and such like stuff. So my purpose today here is to welcome all of us here and to invite us into a conversation that as Kenyans we need to talk about seriously. That is, how do we feed our people? How do we ensure everybody in this country has access to food? How do we ensure that we are not moving from 2.1 to 4.4 to maybe a higher number of Kenyans who are starving? This is the conversation we want to have. And at REPLANET Africa, we rely on science. We build on science to find solutions to some of these things.
I'm happy to be here engaged in conversations around this technology. First and foremost, I'd say it's something that is important because we've seen the challenges that are facing us right now. We have challenges in food security, we have challenges in pests and diseases, and this is one of the technologies that offers us a chance to counter these challenges without having any residual harm to other plants across the area and also to the individuals who end up partaking these crops. And as such, it's something that we need to embrace in order for us to continue now to become food secure within the country. And also, I'd like to add that bringing GMOs into the country is something that offers us students learning opportunities, because with an introduction of technology, there need to be experts who are out there to go and actually test these products, check if they are fit for human consumption. And as much as we have the regulatory bodies, it is the mandate of students to partake and conduct research within these areas to find out if they are really what the producers say they are, or if they are not, and any other harm that they may have unto people. And also it brings about the introduction of new technologies into the country, because we do not want to remain rigid, we do not want to remain behind other countries. We need to catch up and actually embrace these new technologies so that we can get more secure and more food secure future for ourselves. And also I feel like we need to appreciate that as Kenyans, we need to have trust within the systems that we have put in place, the regulatory bodies that are there in place to actually ensure that these products are good and fit, the likes of KEFIS and the NBA, which are more than important and more than crucial in ensuring that the crops that come into this country are safe for everyone and for human consumption. And maybe in conclusion, I'd say that GMOs is also a chance for us to actually experiment and learn, because what we've been trying all these technologies. There are others that allow us to get more plants, but currently we find that with the current environmental state, it's very difficult for us to actually have the indigenous crops grow as they were before. And right now we need something that will offer us better. If it's not drought resistance, then we can have pest resistant varieties that are able to actually come into the market and grow into areas that our indigenous crops are now unable to grow.
Agricultural economics is about ensuring that agriculture can work for the people, making sure that we put together combination of resources in a way that can benefit everybody along the value chain. So I just want to say that doing the same thing the same way and expecting different results is being foolish. We have our means of production which we've been using, and as things change, we also need to change to be sure that we are able to meet the requirements of this planet. So basically, I'm going to address myself to the benefits and why we need the science of genetic modification. First, the science of genetic modification serves each and everyone, right from the farmer, the consumer, the industrialist, and even the environmental conservationist. To the farmer, biotech is able to reduce the cost of production and provide means of getting a reasonable yield even under difficult situations. As has already been alluded to, currently we are having drought. There are technologies that are specifically meant to do better in such drought situations. As a country, we need to be sure that we have such kind of tools if we are going to make a difference in the lives of farmers. To the consumer, we are all crying about the cost of food. Biotech can enhance productivity by reducing the cost of inputs and where appropriate by even enhancing yields. So that makes sure that we are able to get food more affordably compared to the conventional ways of farming. So as a consumer, you have two ways of benefiting from biotech: reduced costs of food, and secondly, there are technologies like biofortification, which can enhance the nutritional value of the food. That makes sure that you can be able to feed your body better using this kind of technology. To the environmental conservation activists or sort of enthusiasts, biotech is helping to reduce some of the challenges we have. Like for example, today, if we are going to embrace biotech, then we have a good chance of even mitigating the effects of climate change. There are biotech applications which, if used appropriately, will enhance productivity and thus reduce even the chemicals that we are using, reduce the amount of fuel that we are using to plow farms, and that way we are going to be better as a country and as a globe. To even the policymakers who are out there seeking to enhance our food security as a country, we are saying that we have to enhance our productivity using modern technologies. That's the only way we can be able to handle the growing food import bills. So with the technology, we can benefit all of us. To the industrialists, and we are talking about jobs scarcity in this country, we need enough raw materials if we are going to make industrial sense in this country. So biotech can be able to help us achieve our needs for raw materials. We've been talking about textile industries, yet we don't have enough cotton. If we embrace BT cotton, for example, we can be able to generate enough material that can be able to serve our industries and employ our young ones. So the science has a lot of benefits, and I urge each and every player or stakeholder in the agriculture sector to embrace it, right from the farmers, the consumers, the government, and everyone else.
I have been farming cotton for over 20 years. To start with, I started with the conventional cotton, which after planting, if I failed to apply pest controls or pesticides for over 12 times in a season, I'll either get nothing or very poor harvest. And after experiencing all those, I came to realize that this one made the cost of production to be too high, and most of the cotton farmers shied away from cotton growing. And that's the reason why you find that in the Republic of Kenya, we had 22 journalists in operation at the beginning, but today we have less than 5 which are operating. Meaning that most of the local textile industries are dormant, doing nothing. After that, the government in year 2019 allowed us to do BT cotton commercialization. And for 2 years now, I have been growing BT cotton in 1 acre plot. And what I have realized, my friends, I'm not ashamed to tell you that I cannot go back to conventional cotton. Why? BT cotton is an early maturing crop, a cotton which has an inbuilt mechanism to protect itself from pest caterpillar. And it is early maturing. It takes 5 months instead of 9 months, which we used to take from the conventional cotton. And when we come to the same plot of an acre, BT cotton is about 3 times more productive than the conventional cotton, because in that 1 plot of an acre, I used to get just 500 kilograms of conventional cotton. But in BT cotton, it ranges rain fed. When the rain is good, you find that I'm getting 1 ton 400 kgs. Now, if I compare the benefit, I find that 1 ton 0.4, if I multiply with the current price of BT of city cotton at a price of 50 shillings per kg, that is 70,000 in 5 months. Meaning that in a year I can even plant it twice. So I cannot compare the BT cotton crop, which is a GMO, with the traditional cotton. When growing BT cotton, you reduces the pesticide use in your field. Instead of 12 times in a season, you only apply 3 times. That means the farmer is left with money in his pocket because of this reduction of 9 pest control application in the farm. Not only that, the time that the farmer could have used when applying pest control in the field, it is used in other income generating activity in the same farm. Multiply by the number of cotton farmers in the Republic and see how many farmers has been gained. The other point is that BT cotton, after farming of BT cotton, you find that most of the local textile industries have now started coming up, because it is not our wish, not the farmers' wish, for the local textile industries to go outside Kenya, where they take the money which could be given to the farmers in the country. So I'm urging the government. We know that the availability of BT cotton seeds, it is not available to all farmers, and most of the farmers would like to have the BT cotton seeds to plant so that we can revive our local textile industries. So I'm appealing to the government through the Minister of Agriculture to avail BT cotton planting seeds in all cotton growing regions. And by so doing, we are going to start creating a lot of jobs for the youth, because if all those industries are revived, most of our Kenyan youth will be absorbed in those areas. On the other side, we are the same farmers. I said at the beginning that I have been growing maize. The conventional maize we grow right now, after planting, you find that the first thing they are attacked by after germination, they are attacked by the fall armyworm. After fighting the fall armyworm, you find that they are attacked by the maize stem borers, even before they produce the tassels. From the maize stem borers, if you are lucky, you are not going to meet with the maize leather necrosis. But after maize leather necrosis, you find that there is drought, which is chasing the farmer very much. The little that remains, because of the destruction of the maize stem borers, you find that the product is prone to aflatoxin. And finally, when a farmer takes the harvest in the stores, they are attacked by the storage pests. Now my question comes, why should I as a farmer be sharing my sweat with crop diseases, pests, droughts, when there is a lasting solution in the GM technology? The way to go is the GM technology if we want to address the severe cases of hunger in the Republic of Kenya, fiber crisis, food crisis, cases of severe famine after adopting the modern agricultural biotechnology, including genetically modified crops, will be a past tense in our Republic of Kenya. The other thing I would like this message to reach all farmers. The climate change is real and it is here to stay with us. For us to survive, we have to adopt the science technologies because we have trust in our scientists. Our scientists cannot develop poison and then give it to their parents. And the parent scientists cannot develop a crop that will produce poison and then give it to its children, to their children. Therefore, we have a trust in our scientists who are working day and night to come up with a crop that can help Kenyans. So, we are now appealing to the government and the other stakeholders to avail BT maize to the farmers of this republic, knowing that all I have believed that the experience I have seen from the cotton growing, which is a GMO, it is also going to be applied in the BT maize, which we are expecting it like yesterday.
On GMO, I believe it's a good aspect of the society, considering the climate change impacts. We cannot expect to produce with this climate change if we continue using the indigenous grains. So I think it's a good way for people to start adopting technology because it has been proven to be healthy and drought resistant and more productive. So I think GMO is a good idea that should be adopted by the society. In hybrid rice, we recently had an assessment meeting and we realized in comparison with the indigenous grains, hybrid rice does much better in yield, and it's more cost effective in production.
Before this work and before you started working with ICOSEED, on a scale of 1 to 10, what was your knowledge on the topic of GMOs?
1.
Now that you have been exposed to information and the knowledge and you understand a bit more about the topic, what would be your encouragement to somebody who knows nothing about the technology but is sort of ignoring or resisting based on ignorance or having no access to information about it?
I would advise them, seek knowledge. Knowledge is power, because unless you actually have the knowledge, you cannot make the sound decisions on the topic. Initially, I also had myths on it, a lot of them, because I didn't have access to actual knowledge. But with the exposure, I've learned that it's just a better way of life that is easier and more adaptive to the current situation. So I would encourage everyone and anyone to ignore the hearsays and just do research on it.
This is a great time we have had here, and we are able to enlighten Kenyans about GMOs. We are glad that the work has been very, very successful, and many Kenyans will be aware of what benefits we expect to get from GMOs, and we urge everybody to be part of this journey of transforming our agriculture and ensuring that Kenya is a food secure state and farmers get money from their sweat. Thank you very much.